Well, good morning from Seoul, South Korea, Incheon International Airport, grabbing breakfast. We're here today to do the city tour. It's a $3 tour put on by the airport for people like us who have a very long layover, 12 or 13-hour layover. Already discovered some really nice amenities over here, such as wireless charging right in the waiting area. Very impressive, clean, efficient airport. It's extremely cold outside. We'll see how this tour shapes out to be. Okay, we'll report more as the day goes on. Here we go. Here we go. This is the bus that we're going on. Get an idea how cold it is. Just by speaking, you get all the cloudy breath. But it's about 18 degrees, 19 degrees, I think, Fahrenheit. It's freezing. But get on the bus and get warm. The trip from the airport in Incheon to the city of Seoul took about an hour. Most of the participants in the tour had flown in on red-eye flights and they were on a layover. So naturally, everyone was sleepy, which the tour guide recognized. She only gave us a small speech to describe the tour and then gave most of the hour back to everyone to take a short nap.
Using this tour.
A few moments later.
The tour guide started briefing us again once we entered the city limits, gave us an opportunity to see a little bit of this bustling area, only there was no bustle anywhere. Maybe because it was a cold Sunday morning, with lots of businesses probably closed for the day, we had the chance to see modern infrastructure, public transportation, and observed how they also drive on the right side of the road over here. The city looked very clean and modern, at least this part of it. Our guide stopped so we can observe a rental store where you can rent Korea's traditional garb, the hanbok, for a more authentic local experience. It's the same thing they do in some towns in Japan.
And this is the main gate called the one statue called Hachi King. And this is the one building.
All right, it's a cold morning over here in Seoul. About an hour's drive from the airport. We're visiting a tourist attraction here. Something about the original palace during the Joseon dynasty. We're gonna see a lot more later on. Here we go. We are in the courtyard of the Great Palace. We're gonna have to research more information about this. Hello! So yeah, like I was saying, this is a 5-hour tour. 2 of those hours is just driving to and from. We're gonna go with our group. Gyeongbokgung is a former royal palace in Seoul. It was the first royal palace of the Joseon dynasty, having been established in 1395. It is now one of the most significant tourist attractions in the country. The palace was among the first landmarks to be established in Seoul. It flourished under the 1418 to 1450 reign of Sejong the Great, who invented the native Korean script Hangul at the palace.
And also you can see all these buildings, and on the roof, the small shape the figure is called Hapsa.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna enter palace. I see a lot of people wearing hanboks. When they do, they get free entrance and, of course, nice photos. In 1910, Japan colonized Korea. As the palace was a symbol of the Korean monarchy's authority, Japan systematically demolished and altered it. Almost all of its around 500 structures were sold off and demolished. Significant efforts to restore the palace began in the 1980s. In the past 5.5 decades, the government has attempted to restore the palace to its pre-colonial state. Dozens of buildings and structures in the palace have since been recreated, with dozens more scheduled for the future. You may notice that we're doing a lot of following during this tour. That's because we were on a very tight schedule, so we could catch the changing of the guard towards the end of the tour. I would have wanted to spend more time in each building, but what I should have done was do my research beforehand, so I could appreciate better the history behind this place and this culture. Well, maybe next time. Being herded out of the way. Something's coming. Ooh. Ooh, there's a show right here. The palace performs a changing of the guard ceremony twice a day, complete with traditional military attire and all the ceremony that goes with it. Aside from the native Korean, the narration is done in several languages, including English.
Ladies and gentlemen, please look at Gwanghwamun Gate. The commander is leading the troops toward Gwanghwamun's lunar platform.
Chinese,
现在守门军根据指挥
and Japanese.
ください。ただいま到着の番
무대 가수군이 중상관의
Okay, I think that's about it. So just a little bit of the guard changing, choreography there, some costumes, the same way they do it in
현재 수군군이
a lot of major cities around the world.
중상
Okay, so that was it. Little tour of the palace. There's no way you can capture all of that detail from the tour guide. But here we are back in the bus. I think we're headed back to the airport. At least we had something to do in the middle of our layover. And then we're on our way back to Seattle tonight.
Is this it? You done?
It's 11:10. Oh, there's maybe one more spot to visit. All right. Our last stop was an ordinary commercial street in Seoul, where we could do a little bit of souvenir shopping and grab a good authentic Korean lunch from a choice of recommended restaurants. Lots of street food. Hey, this is galbi dumpling soup. Finally find out what true authentic Korean galbi is. Picture.
1 hour later.
Noisy.
So it turns out there's this whole section of Incheon International Airport that's designed for transit passengers. They can take naps. There's even like a lobby of a hotel over here, what looks like a hotel. They can just relax. There are chairs, relaxation facilities that you can avail of. Good job, Incheon. But we took a nap. Okay, it looks like pretty normal pho over here at the food court, overlooking the hallway called the Food Empire. Look at this, a robot taking this lady's stuff. What? Now I've seen everything. Oh, look at that sunset.
1 eternity later.
Okay, here we are, back in Seattle. Darlene having fun walking instead of taking the walk-a-later.